They now want to teach Ornpay literacy curriculum to children through their health departments.
Yeah, it's going to get torn apart. I mean, listen, you don't fuck with people's kids.
Yep.
No.
They're trying to use taxpayer dollars now to introduce the Ornpay to children, just like these schools. They put these books in the library, or they even sometimes assign them as book reports, and then as soon as a parent takes that same book, shows up at the school meeting, and reads it, well, that's inappropriate.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah, I've seen that crap.
And
you can't be talking about this here at the meeting. Well, then why are my kids being taught it?
Exactly.
You know? That bullshit.
Like when I was in high school, halfway through my junior year, I remember I went to the library and I wanted to sign out The Joy of Sex. And they didn't have it. So I went and talked to the assistant librarian, and she's like, "Oh no, you have to talk to the librarian about that." Oh. So I go in there, and she's just like,
"It's in the restricted."
She's a larger black woman, she's a sweet woman. She's like, "Honey, what do you need this book for?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not a big guy, and I really got to be on my game when I get out of high school, or I'll never get any pussy." And she's like, "You're such a sweetie."
You're such a sweetie.
Yeah, I'm serious. 3 days later, there's the book. I'm like, "Thank you."
Well, the thing is, you have that exact same conversation with a librarian now. She said, "You come in the back. I'll show you a thing or two." No! The hell out of here.
No, I'm serious. And like,
these women have become emboldened.
But that was at my high school, which is a public high school in Berkeley, Michigan.
Yeah.
That's how they used to be. I just shudder at the thought of how they are now.
I don't even want to know. But you listen to this Zoom call. And, of course, these are, every single person that's pushing this are women. We know that they're the perpetuators of the underage wango tango more often than not, especially on school grounds.
Yep.
We can promote a shame-free educational space by letting young people know that it's okay if they are curious. It's okay if they have watched porn, and it's okay if they have thought about porn. I always make sure to say someone being curious about sex and or porn does not make them a bad person. It makes them human. It's so important we normalize that this is a natural human experience. And
all right.
If this is a natural human experience, why didn't we have Ornpay, 100 years ago?
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am happy that the internet wasn't around when I was in high school. I would have thrown my arm out. All right.
It would have been like
it was
when
bad
Quagmire
enough.
when it's discovered the internet, and he shows up 3 days later, like he hasn't left his house and he's got one Arnold Schwarzenegger arm.
But it's bad enough that my buddy and I would literally go to his house at 11:30 at night after his parents went to bed. We'd watch the cable where it had the wavy lines just to see titties.
Well,
just to get a 1 to 3 second glimpse of titties.
The hope of seeing titties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Benny Hill. I turned an entire wall in my bedroom into a TV antenna so I could watch Benny Hill from Canada unfucking censored. All right. So I was putting in that kind of effort to stuff that didn't even it was so much left to imagination. Wow. If I literally could go in my room, shut the door, and go, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah,"
it would have been over. I never would have graduated high school.
And I think you carry it around in your pocket. Dudes are dying in car accidents because they can't stop watching the Ornpay while they're on the road.
I know. God,
right? That's comforting to think about.
See this? See
Slam
this?
on the gas.
Set it down and push it away.
Yes.
Kind of like the food you eat.
Yeah. Amen. Oh, God.
Just push away.
But, we can't be held responsible for what happens, because, white people 100 years ago did stuff.
Yeah.
They're the reason I have to watch the Ornpay.
Yeah, and the way they rewrite history is disgusting.
Oh.
Because they make it sound like, the world that they lived in 150 years ago or 200 years ago was exactly the same as it is now.
Yeah.
Nothing could be further than the truth. There was no fucking antibiotics. So you get yourself a bad piece of strange, you have the itchy, scratchies for the rest of your fucking life, and it's going to cut your lifespan down by like 40%. All right?
Ugh.
There's TB, cholera, typhus. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yep.
It was a fucking shit show. And quite literally, it was very common to see a man and then have 3 wives next to him who died in childbirth.
Yep.
That was the norm.
Yep. And guess who came up with all of the medical science that allowed those women to start surviving childbirth? White men.
Was it men?
Wait, man.
But we're such misogynists.
Yeah,
We just
even
hate
came
women
up-
so much. We invented all of these technologies, medicines, and everything to make their lives easier, to make their lives longer than men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of
Wouldn't
course,
have
you
any of
get
that.
things like dishwashers and washers and
Yep.
dryers.
And all
but
of those
it's
those are
still-
all products of the nagging tax.
Yep, exactly.
And how have they
And
repaid
they
us?
still nag.
Yeah.
They're never going to stop.
Bunch
No.
of naggers.
Like literally, I can
Get a job, naggers.
literally put a woman in a solid gold house with an absolute perfect lawn, with 2 Ferraris in the driveway, and maybe her magical horse pony she gets to ride around. And I can guarantee you come back from work and it'll be nothing but nagging and bitching,
Yep.
nagging and bitching.
Well, the horse poops and it stinks. I don't want to clean it up. You need to hire someone who can clean it.
Listen, gentlemen, if you're with a woman who nags you all the time or bitches constantly, get rid of her. She's going to radically shorten your lifespan.
Yep.
Bum, 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 bum.
Totally true.
And how do they repay us for all this kindness?
More nagging.
Well, that and kid diddling. So, for ETR, reducing the risk curriculum, Ornpay consumption is a required topic in sex
For
ed.
what?
Although, as ETR admits, the evidence is largely unclear whether explicit media influences future health among adolescents. Introducing graphic content into elementary schools creates open minds and prepares students for sexual activity.
Listen, by the time those
With their
kids
teachers.
by the time those kids get to 18, their shit isn't going to work anymore because it's being desensitized.
Yeah.
They pull it more than a taffy machine.
There are there are whole forums, from what I understand, on Reddit. Dudes who have become addicted to the online Ornpay, and they can't even get it up with a real woman.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Wow.
This is, once again, it's just an extension of the Transformers ideology. This is
Push it
sexual
away.
abuse.
That's right.
It's sexual abuse. And last but not least, we have to be careful around this one. But if you ever had any doubts that this was about diddling kids,
Or grooming
grooming,
for diddling.
Oh,
here it is.
word.
Top academic behind fetish site hosting child abuse fantasies, push to revise WPATH guidelines. WPATH is World Professor Association for Transformer Health. Professor Emeritus at California State University, who has given academic talks on expanding Transformers' umbrella, has for over 2 decades participated in a fetish forum that hosts and produces extreme sadomasochistic written Ornpay involving the castration and torture of children.
Why has the FBI not
Why is this
kicked
guy
his door
above
down?
ground? Is my question.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to say, Papa. Why is he above ground?
Why is he a professor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, all right, let's be honest. People who do this can never be rehabilitated.
No.
They
Never.
can't. And that what they want is they want to turn a large portion of our population into them so we can't, imprison them or get rid of them.
Yep.
Because, listen, I mean, they're dangerous to be around your kids.
Yes.
That's why we have a registry now.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, just like HIV, you no longer have to inform a partner in California stand because they're trying to remove the stigma. They're trying to remove the stigma for these predators.
Yep.
And
Shit.
this is what we get. Let's see. Thomas Johnson, retired professor at California State University in Chico, former member of a body modification fetish site, the Eunuch Archives, which was the subject of a months-long investigation by Redux released on May 17th. At the time, Johnson's identity had not yet been confirmed as an anonymous user who goes by the handle Jesus. Fucking shame on
God
you.
damn.
Only one thing that could have made it worse is if you used his real name, Yeshua. But according to posts made to the forum in March and April, Johnson let his identity slip and invited site members to partake in an academic survey on childhood experiences, castration, desire, and schmexual history, as well as watch him give a talk via Zoom. He has published research on surveys that he has personally conducted with other members of the archives. His academic interests advocate for expanding the concept of gender identity to include men with sadomasochistic and even pedophilic castration fantasies, something that has now been included.
Research. This is fulfilling a sick fantasy.
Yeah,
this
exactly right.
This guy's something you see on Criminal Minds, for fuck's sake.
Exactly.
Excuse my language.
Chris Hansen used to made a career out of finding guys like this and telling them, have a seat right here. Now he's a fucking hero to these people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you, if the FBI kicked his door, there'd be kiddie porn in there.
Oh, they would find real stuff, not the fictional stuff. Yeah.
But they'd rather kick in doors of people that sell pillows, you know. Don't want to be inconvenienced with diddlers.
Yeah, but the Biden administration would never, ever think of weaponizing alphabet agencies against political opponents just purely for political reasons.
That
They
would
never
never
do
happen.
such a thing.
Not at all.
Fuck's sakes. Look at this here. As previously reported by Redux, the Eunuch Archives hosts over 3,000 pieces of fictional child Ornpay that detail rapé, torture, and killing. In some narratives, children with stunted puberty are rapéed by doctors. In others, children are castrated by force as part of a sadistic torture ritual. These are fantasies.
Well, hang on.
And these are the
What
people.
Bohemian Grove is going on with this guy?
There was that one in Game of Thrones, that one character who had his junk cut off.
The eunuch, yeah.
Yep.
And that motherfucker literally dedicated his life to have that dude delivered to his place in a fucking box.
Yep.
And he tortured him on end. I mean, that's how you fucking make serial killers right here.
Yeah.
Shit like that. This is the recipe for disaster.
You want Death Wish? You want Dexter? This is how you get Death Wish and Dexter.
That's right.
Yep.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah, somebody needs to pay this guy a visit and tell him about the benefits of extreme chiropractic.
I'd like to know who gives them the green light to speak.
Yeah.
He's in California, Stan.
Cuckafornia Stan? Well, yeah, he's a hero in Cuckafornia Stan, of course. A Professor Emeritus, California State University.
And listen, like, these people become professors and they are literally untouchable. That needs to get fixed.
Yeah.
This is fucked up.
Sorry, but you don't just become magically employable forever because you get tenure.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, it's horse shit.
I do think it's horseshit.
And teachers unions, police unions, all these unions protecting evil, sadistic motherfuckers like this guy.
Yeah.
Y'all need to be shut down.
And what are the odds that he's acted on some of this and hasn't been
it's
caught?
100%.
Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, there's no way that dude is not or never has
Their leftoids'
participated.
own logic proves this, because they'll say, well, you know, it's if you talk like this online, it's only a matter of time before you go out there and you do it for real.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
here it is. Well, it only applies to your side, though. Our side, we're all about tolerance, inclusivity, and diversity.
Yeah,
Sure.
deranged things like this.
Yep. Yeah, the pedos are not going to be happy until they get added to the Alphabet Mafia umbrella.
Oh, they're working on it.
Oh,
They're
I know.
getting there as fast as they can.
And look, Disney's pushing it.
Yep.
They have been doing it secretly since roughly the 60s. It's gotten really bad, I would say, early 2000s and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I tell you, if and I don't have kids, but if I did, there would be no Disney in the house right now. Not,
hell no.
Not with the crap they're pulling.
No. You're absolutely correct.
And I think one of the reasons they're doubling down is because their audiences are getting smaller.
Yeah.
And that they're putting all the money into these tent pole things. And it's probably the same with shit like this online.
Probably.
You know? So we need to make sure that the only stuff people see is our stuff, even though there's less of it. Because we want them thinking exactly how we want them to be thinking.
Yeah.
We gotta double
Well,
down.
Netflix isn't much better.
No.
I'll give you an example. I tried this, and I knew going in. It was a progressive comic in the 80s, but this Sandman series on there, you'd be hard-pressed to find a straight person in the whole show.
Shocker.
I mean, inclusive, really? Well, where's the rest of the people, the normal individuals? But you've got every alphabet character on the show.
All I can say is dark web. You can get all of the passwords and shit to watch that stuff for free.
That's why I was genuinely shocked. One, that they're still putting out Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai has not gone woke. They have not turned on their fans. Outstanding. Yeah. Stranger Things came back to in full force in top fucking form in season 4. I was expecting something awful.
Yeah.
There's hope. And the thing is, they know where the money is being made because they're seeing what people are watching.
Yeah, and they just refuse to.
They just don't care.
Listen, that's fine.
I don't know why.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep losing money hand over fist. Somebody else is going to come along, decide, hey, I want to make that money and keep it. And they're going to make shit people want to watch because the customer is always fucking right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what does Disney think? They're going to get
like
bailed
what I was
out?
telling you before the show, Pop. They must be allergic to money.
I know.
Sure seems that way.
Because they're vaccinating themselves against it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe it's an mRNA vax.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. If you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I would ever agree with such nasty conspiracy theories. No, those are just the worst.
Yeah, they're the worst.
Now, you have to be a complete idiot to believe in those things. You have to trust the science.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporters Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.